Hey, sweets.
Hey, Savories.
I'm Alyssa.
I'm AJ, and welcome to
the Sweet or Savory podcast. Ooh. Wow. We're back.
We're back. Oh my gosh.
Welcome back.
Welcome
to SOS.
To SOS. And we have our producer, Julie. She's back as well.
Hello. Yay.
Hey, Julie. Long time no see.
I know.
We missed
it
you.
It has been too long.
Oh, it's actually been almost a year.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, that's kind of wild.
Yeah. In November, it'll be a year.
So we have so many things to update. So many things because it's been so long. Where do we even start?
I know. I mean, thank you to everybody who has been requesting us to come back.
Yes.
That really means a lot.
We have
means
some
you
very,
missed us.
loyal, dedicated fans who every time we ran into people like anywhere, they're like, when are you bringing back the podcast?
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm one of them because every time I watch your content on Instagram, it's like I can't get out of like research mode. Like I watch your stories and I'm like, ooh, okay, we could ask them about that. Okay, we could do an episode on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, have so many things saved that we want to share with you all. So
I mean, let's just get into it. Julie was, on a Zoom with us for the last hour as we're setting up, and we didn't talk that much because I think we wanted to get like a real life update.
Mm-hmm.
So just in case, if this is your first time listening, go check out our podcast page for our previous debates and episodes where we talked about topics like, is peanut butter sweet or savory, or can you be friends with your ex?
Right. We range from all different topics, from food to how we use the bathroom, but essentially sweet or savory, this or that. And we just wanted to update everybody for this particular episode. And we're definitely going to continue all of our other topics that we have prepared for you in the coming episodes.
Yeah, in the coming weekly episodes. We're back. We're
doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this.
So maybe we can start off with the fact that you're in a very new location.
Right.
What's the deal?
Absolutely.
Where
Oh my
are
gosh.
we?
If you're watching on YouTube, you've definitely already noticed that this is a different background. Not our normal studio. We're actually in our house.
Yes. And we didn't get to update again. The last podcast was almost a year ago, and we actually bought our house at the end of November.
Right.
Of 2022.
That's wild.
So we
that
never
it's almost...
did a house episode yet?
No.
I don't think so.
We didn't. We probably talked
Oh my
about
goodness.
house a little bit, but
Yeah, I think last time we mostly talked about the wedding, recapped everything there, but we didn't get into the house stuff yet. So
it's kind of crazy.
I know.
So I feel like that could be a full episode, but maybe give us a brief overview. Like, what is your house like? Do you like it so far? What is home ownership? What's the vibe?
Oh my gosh. Well,
Is it all set up and decorated?
No, not yet. We thought by this point, almost being a year in, that it would be the dream house. Like our plan was so I'm trying to explain it without giving too like saying too much. But when we bought the house, it came with an extra room that we wanted to use for our podcast studio. And that's one of the reasons why we've lagged a little bit on
We
setting
were
this
like,
up.
oh, maybe we'll have a separate podcast studio by the time we start up the podcast again. But, and for anyone who is just going through life, that there are things that happen and some delays. And then, we took some opportunities like the tour that we're about to probably talk about soon.
Yeah.
So we wanted to ideally have a space in our detached garage, but that's not ready yet.
It's
and that's
not ready
okay.
yet. And so we're having a makeshift studio in one of our rooms. But I mean, home ownership, it's come with its ups and downs. But overall, we're so happy that we have a place to call home, that our dogs have a yard to roam around in. And we're just really grateful and blessed that we are in this just beautiful home that we get to come home to.
We do miss being at the Texans studio, but Julie's there right now, as you can see.
Yes, I'm still here, not in our normal studio, but
And we have a quick life update,
yeah.
actually, from Julie, because she
Yeah.
is no longer just Julie and Nathan, right? Let everybody know what's
I am
going on.
now Julie, Nathan, and baby boy.
Hey.
Inside baby boy.
You're close, right? I mean,
Yeah, 3 more months.
Oh
Oh
God.
my. Geez.
So due at the end of January. Very excited.
I mean, for those who have been listeners, I'm sure you are already following Julie. So you may
really
have heard the
pretty
news.
good.
Really Pretty Good and the Really Pretty Good podcast. But we are just so excited for you, Julie. And it's just wild to think our friendship started only a few years ago.
I know.
I know. So
And
much has happened.
Yeah, so much has happened, and you're about to have another family member. So
I
cool.
know.
Yes.
We're
Congrats.
so
I'm
happy
so
for
excited.
you.
Thanks, guys.
We wanted to have a future episode also be about, kids, future kids. A lot of people ask us, obviously, when are we going to have kids? I'm sure you got that a lot,
It's like
Julie, you and Nathan.
starting on your wedding day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
Even before.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll dive deeper into that.
In
And
a future
congrats
episode.
again to Nathan and Julie.
Yay.
Thanks, guys. So what else is happening besides the house? Alyssa, you had a big life change.
I did have a big life change. I quit my job this year. And that was a really, really big change because y'all know I'm a big Disney gal. And
Yeah.
that was my life. I was just doing a lot at Disney, whether it was at the parks or at the studios. I was there for almost 10 years. And I quit to doing literally like artist life full time.
Yeah.
So acting, singing, and now we're getting back into the podcast and hosting again, which is I'm super excited about because I've missed this so much.
Yeah. Me
Was
too.
that a big transition for the two of you, going from Alyssa being gone full time and then just home in the evenings more to now you guys are working together throughout the day, I'm assuming, or at least see each other more? Has it been good? Has it been stressful? All of the above?
I think it was a little bit of a change. Like we were trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out my schedule. I mean, AJ's been self-employed for the longest time.
Yeah.
So it was really just me trying to figure out what my new routine looked like, what my schedule looks like, because now I'm running my own schedule and like what my hours are like. I'm a very routine person, so I need
True.
to have somewhat of a routine. And that's hard in this industry because you're either going to events on like during the middle of the week. Things are not at the 9 to 5 hour, which I was so used to. And to be honest, I'm still getting used to.
Yeah.
It's already been a few months since I've quit, not a full year yet, but every day looks a little different. I still don't have like a full routine yet.
Yeah. Alyssa's definitely not used to not having something set for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I have been used to that life for the last however many years, 17 years. But yeah, it's a little bit of both though. We still try to, we plan as much as we can what the week is. Alyssa does anyway. We have a shared calendar. I think that was one of the main things. Not that anyone's out there asking for advice right at this moment, but like that's something that
Can
has
you guys
really
give
helped
us some advice?
That is a huge help to know what's going on. And yeah, it has been an adjustment, but it's been cool because I get to see Alyssa a lot more, and we have a new dog. I know that's another life update.
Life update.
Yes.
She's right here.
She's right there. Alyssa's petting.
We'll formally introduce her when she's
Yeah.
not sleeping.
But to have that help around the house with the dog has been really helpful. We used to have our other dog, Kitchi, and she passed away during this last year. But that, when I remember you being at work and I'm alone with Kitchi and Bean, it was a little difficult. And it is difficult now when I'm home alone with just Bean and Misu. But to have both of us kind of, take turns taking care of the dog, it's been the dogs. It's been great.
Yes. I think if anything, this period of change for me and for the both of us have made it feel like, even more of like a partnership because, during this time, I'm still trying to figure out so many things, new schedule, new lifestyle. And I lean on AJ a lot to be like, okay, help me. What should I do?
Yeah.
Like just for advice so it's nice to have a partner that's gone through it before or that's in it now and can help, I don't know, guide me through it, your own life.
Yeah.
advice.
Being self-employed has it. Everyone knows, Julie knows, who's gone through this is like, you have to almost accept the different flows through the year. You have your down months and then you have your really great months and, it's, the ebb and flow.
It's harder than it seems.
Yeah.
It's like the freedom is nice, but then it's kind of overwhelming sometimes. I think we did an episode on your personality types, but I can't remember what they were, which I feel like is relevant for this. Like, AJ, I think we all know like that from what you just said that you are more used to like spontaneity and just vibing out each day, however it happens.
Yeah.
But do you remember if like you guys were introverted or extroverted on the Myers-Briggs? And does that play a role at all in the work from home together life?
Yes. So
yes, absolutely.
my personality type is INFJ. The big part of that is the introvert. So I need my time away. And with this job and role where you have to be extroverted a lot of the times at certain events or just like going back and forth from different jobs, you have to be on all the time. So that's another adjustment that I was going through too, is knowing how much I can take at one time and then making sure I recharge for my own sake.
Absolutely. Yeah, for me, I am an ENFP, switches to ENFJ as well. But the extroverted part of me is like, and again, in our industry, we are having to like network all the time or go to different events. But, I find a balance between that because a lot of the time I do want to be home with my wife, with my dogs, and just kind of, have that quiet time as well. But I do need to recharge with like events and whatnot.
Yeah.
And events are spontaneous because you can't control when those are happening.
Yeah. And you have to just sometimes say yes to an opportunity if it's there.
Exactly.
But I'm glad that you are more extroverted than me because it pushes me to be out of my shell. Like I could easily just stay home all day.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes. But when AJ like needs to be somewhere or he's like, let's just, go to this event. It'll be great to see people and stuff. It pushes me to go out there. And I always never regret it. So it just takes the step to actually want to get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
How about a music update? What's going on with your music for each of you?
Ooh.
Woo.
Should we go into tour?
Yeah. Well, so earlier this year, and again, wow, I'm thinking of time, like I'm looking at a calendar in my mind and it's like so much has happened since November. But again, if y'all follow us on social media, you kind of know what's going on, at least outwardly. But inwardly, I got called in January or February by a booking agent, and his name is Michael, and he was like, hey man, are you open to doing shows? What are you doing with music right now? And I didn't really know what was going on. So gave an honest update saying I haven't released music in 3 years. I haven't been on a tour in 9 years. So I don't know. I've always been doing college one-offs, things like that. So I was hesitant to be like, okay, let's go tour. Anyway, I called back probably 2 weeks later, and because I'm inspired by some of my other friends touring, and I literally go, hey man, let's put it together. Let's put a routing together, let's do it. And I remember telling Alyssa, and she's like, what? You're going on tour? We're announcing a tour that's happening in September in May. So, it's like February, March at that point. And I'm like, I'm going to announce the tour in 2 months and we'll see how it goes. And I thought I was going to spend the summer marketing this tour because I haven't been on tour in so long. And I announced the tour May 26th or something like that. And it sold out that weekend.
It sold. So some of the shows sold out within 30 minutes.
Yeah. One was the fastest selling show at that particular venue, and that was Vancouver.
Wow.
And so when that was happening, I was just like, I was feeling all different kind of emotions because I was feeling so much self-doubt when I got asked to do this tour. And then to see the response to it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Which then begged the question, hey, Alyssa, are you going to come with me on tour?
And I was like, I'm free.
She doesn't have a job. She didn't have to call off work. So the original plan was just that she was going to come on as #tour wife.
Yeah, get some behind the scenes, come along, be a roadie. I don't know. Is that is appropriate word?
Roadie is like someone who helps with, but groupie might be what you're thinking.
Groupie. Be a groupie, not a roadie.
No, but groupie is more like a fan. I think it's kind of used in a derogatory way because it's like a fan who hooks up with the band and stuff.
Okay,
I don't know.
Not that. I just meant like a friend of the tour, like
just to come on for company. And then we had our opener Neiman, and I was like, you know what? Let's just feature you in the tour because obviously I want you to sing with me, right? So for those who have gone to the shows, know that I sing songs throughout my career that I wrote early on, released on my MySpace, and then I have Red Roses, which is the album I wrote, and then I'm like, and in 2016 I started dating the love of my life, and I wrote this song about her, which is Like Me, and then after Like Me, a video plays. And it's a video of me and Alyssa. And Alyssa comes out on stage. And we do like 12 to 15 minutes together.
Yeah. It's so fun. I want to do it
Alyssa,
again.
Was this your first time going on tour?
Yes. It was my first time going on tour. Like wild experience. Because I go to one-off concerts here and there, but I'm not a regular even show goer other than musical theater.
Yeah.
So jumping into being the one on stage was just a very foreign experience for me, even though I'm a singer, but I'm not a rock star, So I felt like such a rock star. It was so cool.
Yeah, so it was her first time, but I don't know. You are like a stage vet as well.
Oh,
so I feel like anytime you got on stage, it felt natural, and you really accepted all the love you were getting. Everyone was screaming so loud, y'all. Vancouver was our first back-to-back shows as well, and they measured the decibel level in there, and it was like 106 decibels, which is like stadium arena.
Wow.
Like louder than a stadium.
Yeah.
Does that give you like a high? Like, do you love it, or is it just overstimulating sometimes?
It was a high.
Yeah.
I think the entire tour was just like a complete high. We would get right after the shows, we were like all the way super tired. I remember I'm like, I need to conserve my voice. I'm not talking. But like in the moment, it's just incredible. Like hard to even explain how cool it felt seeing all of your fans from different parts of like the world come together. And what's really cool is I think you have a really good, wholesome, friendly community of people that go to your shows.
Yeah.
And they truly feel like family.
Yeah.
Like anybody that I got to meet, I felt like I could just like hug them, and it was just so warm, and it felt like we already like knew each other. So I don't know, I loved it.
I mean, that's the beauty of YouTube, of how I built my fan base, I guess, and the people who listen to my music, is that they all kind of have a piece of me through like a video they watched, or maybe they do listen to the podcast too. A lot of them were always like, especially during the VIP meet and greet, because this is when you were trying to conserve your voice and kind of getting used to it. Alyssa wasn't part of the meet and greet a lot of the times, but literally they would all be like, "Where's Alyssa?" You know what I mean? So it was very cool to see that. And like you said, they are the most wholesome people. Anytime we get recognized,
I think sometimes people are scared to bother us when we're out, or they're like, I'm sorry, like you probably get this all the time, but it feels different every time. And like the words you guys tell us like really mean a lot. So we appreciate any time you guys come up to us. And I love watching people come up to AJ.
Yeah. So, I mean, say hi anytime, y'all. Even if we look like we are tired or busy, that may be a chance that we won't get in the future to meet you. So,
Aw,
yeah.
that's so nice. AJ, you mentioned at the beginning of all this that you didn't expect to sell out. And it was like, I don't think you said these words, but a little bit of a confidence booster. So I'm wondering if from each of you, if you deal with imposter syndrome and how you overcame that on tour.
Imposter syndrome. That is a very interesting question because I have felt that my whole career, even to say career, is crazy. To say that I'm in the music industry, to me, that still feels foreign. But when that was happening, I mean, selling out, a tour in a weekend, I was like, man, it was just a resurgence. And it was like, man, this is why I do what I do. I think that's mostly what it felt like. And I was soaking in the moment. But even as tour was going on, like I did a radio spot in San Diego. And the way that I even got that radio spot was like because a friend knew a friend on the radio who was on the radio before, and a slot opened up because someone didn't show up. But even there,
Coldplay.
It was, I think it was Coldplay. And I meant, I was in that dressing room or in the waiting room for 93.3, I believe. And I was like, man, I don't belong in here, but I'm about to go on the radio. And then, they called me up and I did the interview and they played a little bit of my song. And I was like, wow, this is cool. I'm about to play a show tonight at the sold out House of Blues. Like, that's wild, So everything, again, it still surprises me. And I don't feel imposter syndrome in a way where like I'm down on myself, but it still is like, man, am I in the industry? What about you, babe? Were you feeling that at all? I mean, you're so new to being an artist.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel it. I think in different ways because, like you said, I still feel like I'm in a transition mode, and I'm mainly like retraining myself again. So I feel like I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah,
that's how it feels. Even though I have been doing it in pockets, but because I had, my corporate job to lean on, I never considered myself Alyssa, the singer or the actor or any of the creative things that I did, or like even content creator. But now I'm learning that I have to, because that's, once I took the leap, I did it because I was going into this career to pursue it, that this is the dream. So I think I still battle with imposter syndrome and thinking that I'm good enough, because I can easily just like take one project that I do. I'm like, I sucked singing that one note, and like get so down on it. So I don't know if it's imposter syndrome or I'm just really hard on myself.
Yeah.
And I know I'm really hard on myself.
It's also weird in LA because to be a musician, I mean, maybe this is everywhere, but it's weird in LA when people ask you what you do, because to be a musician, you also have to be like on social media. You also may be doing some acting. You also maybe are like on YouTube, which is a little different than the other ones. So it's kind of hard sometimes, I think, to even know what to say when people ask what you do. Do you feel that way? I
feel that way because, I'm like, which one do I pick for this person? Do I say I'm a singer? Do I say I'm? But but I think I'm still getting used to it, honestly. But I am sure that'll come with more time.
Yeah.
Can you fill us in on the tour bus drama? Because you posted a little bit about, I forgot exactly what happened. You had a tour bus and then it got dropped and then you had to find something else, or what happened?
Yeah, so there were a lot of obstacles for this tour in general. I mean, a lot of it was like logistics, finance stuff. This is my first time financing my own tour, where, I don't know if a lot of people know, but even artists on labels, they have to finance their own tours because the labels don't all fund the tours. But for me as a fully independent artist, you know, I had to time when we were purchasing things with my business credit card, and then wait till the cycle ends, you know, to purchase the next thing, because I wasn't getting all the money from the venues until I play, right? Until I play the show. And a lot of the expenses I had to, you know, pay up front. And the tour bus was one of those things. So I was not able to, and maybe I could have maybe asked somebody to front the money or whatever, but I was not able to like secure a full-on tour bus back in May when we booked the tour, because I was like, I'll just deal with that later. You know what I mean? When I know that there's money coming in from the tour or other brand deals, etc. Because I don't have like, you know, an unlimited just account to get from.
Oh,
so
you don't have unlimited money?
yeah,
forever?
weird, right?
Strange.
So unrelatable.
Yeah, what? So we waited a couple months, but we did have a lead on a bus, and we did not put a direct deposit, or we didn't put a deposit in, but the bus company was like, okay, we have this one bus, it's under maintenance, but it's going to be done by the time you
Go on tour.
And so it's a week before, and they message my drummer, who's our producing manager as well for the tour, and they said that it's not going to be done in time. So we were like, oh my God. Well, thank God.
Are you so stressed?
Yes.
We were so
stressed to the point where we took to TikTok and Instagram to beg anyone and everyone if they had an extra tour bus to spare, like one tour bus.
One tour bus.
At this time, I mean, I think and still now, there's so many artists that are touring.
Yes.
So there are only a limited amount of tour buses in the world.
Yeah.
And so many artists that are touring at the same time. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Jonas Brothers. There's so many artists that are...
they're like all these big artists obviously still use, you know, tour bus. These tour buses are really nice. You know, we are planning to be in one that had 12 bunks, you know, and it had a kitchen and a shower and a bathroom and all that stuff. And this is what every artist use. Well, all the you know, the artists who have big overheads and big crews. So we were competing straight up with the Jonas Brothers, with Coldplay, with Beyonce, with Taylor Swift to get these buses.
To get one bus.
And I even asked Joe Coy, who is a huge comedian, you know, and he books a couple of tour buses. Jim Brickman, who has a tour bus, who is an artist, you know, mainstream artist that we had the pleasure of collaborating with, but we could not get our own. So Alyssa put out on Instagram and TikTok, and her manager, her lovely manager, Jen, messaged her and said, hey, I know a guy.
Yeah. And so she happened to know someone who knew someone that connected us with our bus driver, Tito Felix.
And he is with a company called All Travelers Limo. But here is the funny thing about it. He usually drives Filipino celebrities who come from the Philippines.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's crazy.
So could not have been more perfect. It was meant to be.
It really was.
It was meant to be.
In a way, it's like, hey, your people will always watch out for you. That's what we kind of got from that. You know what I mean? And where it's like, this dude, we didn't know him, and he wasn't even familiar with my music. I mean, you know, at all. But it's this guy who just happened to have a bus open, and it wasn't a tour bus with bunks because his is already taken. But we got an RV bus, which had one bed and had a lot of space in the front. So we were still comfortable.
A little kitchenette.
And was able to take a trailer, but we had to book more hotels, etc. But we were all on a bus, which was amazing. But yeah, all that to say is that he was open because he wasn't being used by
any of the mainstream artists.
Yes.
They weren't using him. His main clientele are Filipino artists. So it's just crazy how that ended up working out. And we wouldn't have really known unless we put it out there on social media. And I think it was meant to be because we had such a blast hanging out with Tito Felix.
Yeah, and he was one of those Filipino uncles, and just uncles in general, always with kind of the dad jokes and the inappropriate jokes. And, you know, like if you said some of these jokes out loud,
cannot repeat that.
But he was in the Navy, you know, he knew how to pilot submarines, or do you say pilot when you say submarine?
I don't know.
I think so. Sounds
Yeah.
right.
So, I mean, he's lived a long life and he's 70 years old. And we were like, hey, aren't you retired, Tito? And like, why are you still driving? He's like, because I just want to live my life, you know? And he was also giving us stories on how some celebrities that he drives are not very nice to him, or they don't talk to him, and they kind of treat him like, you know,
Should we
he's
drop
just
the names? I'm kidding. Only we know that.
just treat him like he's giving them, they're giving, you know, getting a service or
Right.
whatever, and they don't treat him like a human. But on our long trips, you know, we had my bassist Chad, who speaks Tagalog, and was just talking to
Hanging
him
with
and
him.
entertaining. And then any break we had, he would always just turn around from the driver's seat and say, hey guys, you want to hear a joke? You know, and we'd just listen to him say jokes.
Yeah, all kinds of jokes. Sometimes we didn't know a joke was coming even, and we thought he was just telling us a story, and then there's the punchline and we're all like, oh.
Such a dad move.
Seriously,
Absolutely.
the biggest dad.
And his
uncle
daughters
move.
were always messaging us on IG saying, oh my God, it looks like he's having so much fun. Thank you
Yeah.
for taking care of him and whatnot. So,
Yeah, he posted on social media for the first time, covering our tour. So
yeah, I taught him how to do an Instagram post.
yeah, we helped
That's
him
so
out.
cute.
Uh,
So,
Give 'em-
Alyssa, were you on this bus with all dudes? Just
Yes.
you and the dudes?
just me, little old me, and a bunch of dudes. And it was honestly, I thought I was a little nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, a bunch of guys. One's already a lot. But you know what? It was awesome because all these guys are super cool, very just like always making sure that I was safe and protected. And I feel like I got the princess treatment on tour because they always let me have the bed. I don't know if that was on purpose, but
Like on the bus.
yeah, on the bus,
absolutely.
like, you know, like they let me nap back there and because I was taking care of my voice. And there was always somebody down to like escort me to the venue, make sure that I wasn't walking alone. And yeah, I mean, they're like my brothers now. I feel like all of them, even including Andrew Lee, your manager, were just always making sure that I was taken care of. And so I appreciate just all of them for allowing me to be.
Yeah, and everyone knew that it was Alyssa's first time on tour as well. Everyone else has been on at least one. So
Yeah.
they kind of know that grind where it's like, hey, if you're not getting your rest, the next day is going to be really hard. So they were always making sure Alyssa had her space. And yeah, it was great. It was great.
Some days I wouldn't even talk until the show. And they'd be like they would just like mime things with me and be like, yeah, you're not talking. Yeah. And would just like help me get the things that I needed and things like that. So I love all of them. And I'm excited to do one more show together with everybody. And until maybe
East Coast.
we're gonna say it on here.
I mean, hey, look, if you're listening to this podcast on the day that it releases, which is October 28th, we're also having our Halloween party that day. And Julie's having a little event of her own that day. But in a few days, baby shower, November 1, we are announcing East Coast dates. And they're going to go on sale on November 3.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to the East Coast, baby. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's going to be so fun.
I know.
I mean, I'm a little overwhelmed already just thinking about it because I haven't figured out logistics. Now that I know what to expect when it comes to like booking the bus and all the hotels and stuff, I'm like looking at these East Coast dates. I'm like, oh my God, how are we going to do this in the East Coast? But we're going to make it happen. And we're not touring in the winter for a reason because we didn't want it to be like snowing and break down on our bus or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So that's going to be happening in the spring. So stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah.
That is so exciting. Alyssa, didn't something come up with your voice right beforehand?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
you've mentioned like the vocal rest as just standard, but wasn't there more to it than that?
Yes. So I I damaged my SCM, which is, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it, but maybe we can put it on the screen. It's a something muscle. SCM, or is it SMC? I don't know. No, SCM.
that doesn't sound right.
SCM. It's a muscle that's right here. And it actually happened. I thought it was because I was over singing, but it actually happened when I was working out and I pulled the muscle and I kept going. So instead of listening to my body, I just kept working through it and pushing through. And I didn't find out that that was the issue until I went to the chiropractor. And so I couldn't sing, I think 2 days or 3 days before we were leaving for tour. I couldn't sing. It was hurting to swallow. So I was so nervous that I wasn't going to be able to make it for the first few shows, like singing wise.
Yeah.
But luckily
then we visited our friend, Dr. Tyler,
Dr. Tyler
is a huge chiropractor on TikTok, but he's also a friend of ours. And he knew what was going on with you, which is amazing.
I came in, I told him what my issues were, that I could barely swallow without being in pain, and I could barely speak actually. And he was able to look at it and he saw it was swollen and he adjusted me, also gave me some of his CBD cream that he makes. And I brought that with me on tour. And this is not even sponsored, not an ad or anything. I was healed within 3 days. Like the immense pain that was happening in my neck, after I got an adjustment, after 3 days, I got my voice back. And I was so, my gosh, so relieved.
Thank God.
Thank God.
You sounded amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. I feel like I have so many more questions about tour. Okay. Sorry.
It's been a while.
I've been debating between two questions next.
All right.
One I want to ask is just for your highlights. You talked about this a little bit, but like highlights maybe of the day in the life of tour. And secondly, I need to hear more about Alyssa's style on tour because every look I saw was so cute. And I saw you were doing some of your own hair and makeup, and like I want to hear that process. So let's start off with highlights of tour really quick and then get into Alyssa's style.
Awesome. Well, a big highlight for me was having some special guests come during our set and just showing up and singing. And that was an idea that I had with my bassist and musical director, Chad, because even though the tour was sold out and we could have done anything, I think actually my original idea was to be just me and my guitarist, Andrew Rimmen, just do an acoustic set, honestly, because we were like, I didn't know if I had money for a full band and all that stuff, etc. That was the original idea. Then we sold out the tour and we're like, okay, we got to just go full out because obviously the fans want to see something. And they would have been okay with an acoustic show probably, but we wanted to do a full band show. So then even after that, months later, me and Chad were like, dude, how can we make this show even more special? Hey, how about every single show we have a special guest who's not on the bill, so not Neiman and not Alyssa, to come up on stage. Maybe it's somebody they grew up watching, or it's like a big famous Marvel celebrity come on stage. And it ended up being every single show that we had on the West Coast, there was a special guest who was not Neiman or Alyssa or anyone in the band. And it was amazing. And we gave the audience, just that special treat for being there. Every night was different. And that's what was my goal for because I love watching shows where it feels like this is once in a lifetime. Even like theater feels like that sometimes where, I remember watching Dear Evan Hansen and Ben Platt, the lead character, at the end, he was crying and stuff. And there was like snot coming out of his nose. And I was like, how does he do this every night? He must have only done this tonight, right? That's what you think.
That's what you think.
But it's not. A lot of people are the great performers, they really put on a very passionate performance every night. But for us on this tour, we had a different guest. So in Vancouver, we had Simu Liu, who was in the new Barbie movie, and also obviously Shang-Chi, big Marvel movie, and he sang an original song, and then the next couple of days we had Kathy Nguyen, Gabe Bondoc, Travis Atreo, J.R. Aquino, Tori Kelly. Yeah. That was amazing. And many more.
Yeah, and many more.
And your family was on stage with you at some point. How did that happen?
That was the biggest one. So that was our last West Coast tour. And that was the best special guest of all for me because I had both of my sisters Jasmine and Justine, they were in town. Jasmine came in from New York from her Broadway show. She took a week off for her birthday and she knew my show was happening. So she joined me on stage with Justine, who is also rehearsing for a musical right now that's going to open this weekend.
Yep. Spring Awakening
at East West Players. Go check that out, everybody. And to have them both come up to sing an original song with me, which is a song I wrote back in 2004 called My Soldier. And we started talking about our mom, and we're like, hey, our mom is our soldier. She means a lot to us, obviously, and she's gone through so much, and she's actually here. And then everyone was like, Tita, Tita. Everyone calls her Tita Shirley. And then so we're like, why don't you just come on up, Mom? And she came up on the stage, and it was us four together, singing together for the first time in so long. And so that moment will live on forever. You could see the band members too. Like Andrew, he took a photo, like he had his phone out because like this was such a rare moment, especially now that Jasmine lives in New York.
Yeah, you said that on stage when you were about to perform. You were like, this is so rare that your whole family is together and performing at the same time. Yeah. Even having your mom on stage with you guys. It was, oh my God, immediate tears. I was
just going to ask if you cried.
I did cry. I cried twice that show. And I was watching it from the balcony. And as soon as Justine started singing, I just like couldn't control. I actually have a video. So embarrassing. I have a video of me reacting to them singing.
Oh, you do?
And like, I'm just crying the whole time. I'll release it. We could put a clip of it in this, in the podcast.
I love it.
But yeah, immediate tears because I know how special just you guys are together. Yeah. Loved it.
Loved it.
Everything just makes us go out of our mind. Just know that I will always have the time for you. You say that I am your influence. Don't you know that you inspire me now until the end? Help you get through the thick and I know you'll remember when I say you are strong as a soul.
That is such a good highlight.
Oh, absolutely. So many more highlights. But another one was Alyssa's outfits. For sure.
No, I didn't get to share my highlight.
Yo, please.
Yeah, share my highlight of tour. Okay, I think my highlight, I loved obviously all of the guest performers because it was cool to connect with people in each city that we were in. Yeah. And also some of the guests that got to come watch the show that live in like Vancouver or Seattle that we don't get to see all the time was awesome. But I think my highlight from what sticks out to me is just watching you go on before every show.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to experience the right before. I have clips of this too of AJ going on right before because you get this like cute little nervous energy that happens and then like a calmness. And it's the stuff that nobody gets to see except for if you're backstage. And then immediately as soon as you're on stage, just seeing everybody light up because it's maybe for a lot of them their first time watching and hearing you play live. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like an irreplaceable like feeling. I always come out in that part because I love seeing you go on stage and I love seeing the audience's reaction to you on stage too.
That's so sweet. Great.
I love it.
And then singing with you.
Of course, yeah. That's absolutely a highlight of mine too.
I love singing with you because I don't know, I just feel safe like performing with you. I'm like, even if I mess up, I know AJ's got me.
Yeah, one time she didn't have her in-ear monitors on. Because actually she had the monitors, but she didn't have the pack that it plugs into. So what happens with the in-ear monitors, you get the click, which is like the metronome behind the song. So you hear the tempo. And then you also hear cues where it's like verse 2, 3, 4, or the song's going to go on. Because we didn't have, if you go on stage, the monitors are not blasting, so you can't really hear the music.
Yourself.
You can't hear yourself, right? So a pack was not where it was normally.
It wasn't where it was normally, and I didn't double check to make sure it was there before. So that was my own fault. I was so into like the guest performers, I think, or
just the aura.
Yeah,
of
the
LA.
aura
You were
of
in
the LA show, and I wasn't as prepared. So I didn't have my pack, and I remember going like right before we were about to go on, I was like, I don't have my pack. I can't do it. Like I'm not gonna be able to do it. I don't have my pack. And AJ was like, grabbed my hands and he was like, it's gonna be okay.
I was like, I got you.
Yeah.
Right. Just look at me the whole time, so I can give you, tempo and just trust in your own voice.
Yeah.
And then trust in me that I got you. So we went on stage. She didn't have anything coming out of her ears, the in-ear monitors.
And I was so nervous, but
Oh my gosh.
we did half of our set
Half of the song,
with
half
no
of the set.
ears. And I didn't know, nobody really noticed.
Yeah, no, everyone was like, oh, I didn't know that something happened.
I thought it was like going to be such an obvious, it goes to show like sometimes, the show just goes on.
Yes, so I need to hear about Alyssa's style. Although when I mentioned that, I realized, AJ, I want to hear about your style too. She wasn't the only stylish person up there. I just know I saw a lot of posts from her and a lot of things that I was like, I can't believe you did your hair yourself. So let's start off with Alyssa, but AJ, you get ready to chime in.
Thank you.
too.
I'm ready.
He's so ready. Okay, so in preparation for tour, the one thing that I was like, the most preparation outside of like the singing, obviously, was my outfits. Because I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a once in a lifetime opportunity. I have to come through with like the most fire fits. So I styled myself, and for most of the shows, I did my own hair and makeup, and I was kind of just doing things on the fly, watching a lot of TikTok videos and teaching myself how to do things. But I will say a lot of my outfits I got on ASOS and Amazon, surprisingly.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was trying to look far and wide for like different like pieces that I can put together, but because I was going for like a Y2K kind of throwback kind of look for the tour, I found most of my pieces on Amazon because they have a lot of like 2000s Y2K outfits on there right now. So my favorite outfit, I think, was the one that I wore for the last LA show. It was also the most scandalous because it had a very sheer black lace and then a nude under, like, I don't know what you call it, slip or underlay or whatever. So it kind of looked like, lining, but it looked a little scandy. But that was my favorite fit, and I felt really, confident.
Pictures
and
will be
sexy.
going, by the way.
Yeah,
on this.
we'll show you guys pictures. And I did my own hair, but I did have a makeup artist that did my makeup for that day, and her name is Fran.
LA, yeah.
Yeah, for the LA show. It was Makeup with Fran did my makeup for 2 of our LA shows, but for the rest of the tour, I did my own hair and makeup. And a lot of the times I did it on the bus. Because that's another reality of tour that I learned was that things are just on the fly, and sometimes the green rooms are not set up with a vanity and lighting even. So I had to do my makeup on the bus. Thankfully, I brought my own light, like just like a selfie light, and I propped it up and found a mirror and sat on the bed, and I did my own hair and makeup on the bus.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You're hired. Will you do mine?
Sure.
For every event.
Now I'm a pro.
This can be a level 2 or the next phase of your career once
down.
you've accomplished everything you want to do with music.
I'm down. I'm
AJ,
open.
did you put a lot of thought into your outfits?
Yeah, actually, I was styled. My first time being styled for. I mean, I've been styled for like one-off things, but I had my boy Josh Strother, who he's a style icon in my mind, and to anyone who meets him, honestly, like, geez, you can dress and you are very stylish. He's a friend from my hometown, Moreno Valley. We went to middle school and high school together, and we've been friends for a long time. And he was like, AJ, I want to style you for tour. He just straight up told me on Instagram, and I was like, all right, well, because I'm just used to doing my own thing. I think, Alyssa has seen an evolution in my style, and I mean, there are some things that evolve and some things that stay the same, like to some of my shows, I'll still wear like a graphic tee and like a big like a flannel or something. I mean, those days are gone, but like I was thinking about that for this tour, and I was like, how do I dress? And I'm glad I got my boy Josh to help me out, and he actually had me wearing these Prada shoes that were $1,400. But literally he was like, AJ, once you have these on, you're going to feel confident. They can dress up, they can dress down. They're really versatile, but they're a solid shoe that anything you're wearing, you're going to be like, I feel like a freaking rock star, right? Or I feel like the shit.
That is amazing.
Essentially. Yeah. So that was the base of the outfits. Every night I wore the same shoes, and then I went baggy with my bottoms, and that's kind of coming back as a lot of y'all have been seeing, especially to my fellow millennials. It's like, dude, I remember when we were wearing baggier clothes, and then when skinny jeans kind of came into play, it's like, okay, no more baggy jeans or baggy pants, and now baggy is back.
All of my pants were also baggy. Yeah. I went for that same look. So I think AJ got styled first.
Yep.
And then I took the mood board that Josh set up for AJ. Yep. And I, kind of put together my own mood board and copied just so we could look good together in photos and on stage.
Yeah.
So I kind of helped having Josh.
But yeah, my fits. Go ahead.
I feel like he did a good job, because when I'm looking back right now, because I was like, you know what? I feel like you both looked amazing. But then I just remember Alyssa's outfits, I guess, because I just paid more attention. Yeah. And now I'm looking back, and I feel like part of what he did is the outfits still feel very you. It's really good because you look like elevated, ready to be on stage, but he didn't take away your own personality. So it looks really good.
That's real.
That's so true.
That's real. That was a big point.
You guys look so good together. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much.
So cute.
Yes. And then at the end of every show, I would put on a jersey of whatever city we were in, like a sports jersey, to kind of show love to that city. It was during the encore. So that was a moment where I was like, yeah, I'm going to get to bring a little bit of like, my love for sports as well into the show. And yeah, that's it for me style wise. I mean, we have one more show in Hawaii in a couple weeks, but East Coast could be totally different, or kind of ride on the same baseline.
Yeah. Well, can I say one thing I loved about your outfit? The Vinta Gallery Barong shirt was an ode to the Red Roses tux, right? The red and white tux that you wore in that music video. That's pretty iconic. I mean, you got even one of your fans made a Funko and had that outfit on.
Yeah. So my album Red Roses, for those who have not seen the cover, is me with painted, it's a white suit, but there's red paint all over me, and it's like painting the roses red, like, in Alice in Wonderland. Right. And so, yeah, we found a barong with Vinta Gallery, and it just happened to be a white and red barong shirt. So every night I would also do an outfit change. And I don't want to give too much away of the details of,
because we're still going on tour.
We're still going on tour, but I mean, for those who have listened this long into the podcast,
get a little sneaky peek.
Get a little sneak peek. So yeah, the looks have been really iconic.
When is your Hawaii show?
November 9.
Is it already sold out, or can people still get tickets for that?
It's sold out.
It is sold out.
Gotta move faster next time, guys.
And actually, Hawaii took the longest to sell out. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all, but, it's like island time sometimes, you know what I mean? So, but it's funny when it did become sold out, then people were like,
everyone was messaging you like, wait.
Dude, it's been months.
I know.
But yeah, that's the next show.
So exciting. Any other music plans in general besides tour? Are you still writing new stuff all the time?
Yeah, so I just put out a new song called Take Me Back. So go listen to that right after you listen to this podcast. It came out a couple weeks ago, and it was produced by my friend Michael Alvarado from Us the Duo. And it is a song that references all of the things that I grew up with musically, and even pop culture references. So Take Me Back, and that's the name of the tour. Take Me Back Tour.
Take Me Back Tour.
So yeah. I don't really know what the plan is music wise. yet I'm just kind of going with the flow and being inspired by the moments that I'm in, which is being on this sold out tour, performing in front of, thousands of people. Like that has been really helpful. And I feel like Bean is walking around helpless, needing to go to the restroom.
Needing to go to the restroom? Oh, okay. Should we cut or?
Yeah. Or how long are we at, Julie? Do you have any kind of?
Yeah, we're at like about an hour.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of? What's the last?
I think we covered
That's
all
the last
tour.
planned question.
Yeah.
The only other thing I was gonna say is I feel like I could use a song about that bus driver you had. I forgot his name already. Tito something.
Tito Felix.
I feel like he would make good song content
deserves
somehow.
a song. He deserves more content, honestly.
Yeah, we wanted to do a series with Tito Felix. Like convos with Tito Felix, but we ran out of time and the tour ended. So I mean, hopefully we'll have another opportunity to do it.
A lot of people, I think, including us, we were like had all these content plans. Alyssa had a whole notepad of
I had so much
TikTok
content
ideas and things like that. But I think we don't realize until we get on tour how much is dedicated to like every venue we had to load all our stuff in, all our instruments. We had, video screens that we had to set up and do a sound check. And then we do a meet and greet and then the show starts, right?
Yeah.
So like,
Oh my gosh.
if we're traveling on that day and we get into that city that morning, we don't really have much time to do anything.
Yeah, and then also wanting to conserve our energy and our voices. So there were so many things that I'm like, I can't do this because I don't want to talk. So I did have a lot of content, I think, that I posted mostly on my TikTok. But yeah, I think for the next round, I know there are certain things like I can cover that is more doable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Should we take Bean out?
Let's lead
Just
into
the
an
outro?
outro.
Oh, an outro? Okay, cool. Yeah, I have the outro written out. Oh yeah, let's introduce Misu real quick. Yeah. Okay. Oh, she's sleepy though.
Before we wrap up, can we get an intro to Misu?
Yes, that's a good idea. Okay.
Just in case.
Yes. Okay, so before we wrap up the pod, I wanted to introduce you to our newest addition to the Sweet or Savory family.
Say something, Misu.
Can you hear her? Wait, let me
perfect.
get her closer to the mic. Misu, do you have anything to say to all the family of Sweet or Savory? I think that was it.
Okay. What about you, Bean?
He said, no, he did.
Okay, what did he say?
He said, I'm happy to see you guys again, but I really need a potty. Okay, we'll take you outside. But this is Misu. Her name is short for Tiramisu, and she was actually named after Simu Liu.
Yes.
Because it's a mix of his name. Yeah, okay, she's done. She wants to nap.
But I mean, before we wrap too, we just want to say how grateful we are and for everyone who listens to the pod. And of course, for our producer, Julie, who is going to have a baby in 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
What?
No.
What is your plan
guest.
for like your podcast and stuff? Like when you have a baby?
I need to figure it out. It's on my list. I have episodes planned through the end of the year.
Great.
And then I don't know if I'm going to wrap the season and just start season 3 in like March or April, or if I'm going to batch ahead and have a bunch of episodes. I don't think I'm going to be down to record for those like couple months.
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
feel like you'll probably want to take a maternity leave, right?
Yeah, that's my plan. At least it's low key enough that I could maybe do one episode that's like, here's how the birth went or something.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's going to be either a break or I'm going to have to double down on content
On
now, which
content
to be
right
honest
now.
is probably not going to happen.
I feel you. We always
Spend
have
a lot
all
of
these
time
plans.
napping.
I know.
And we'll take you as long as we can have you, Julie. So
Yeah.
let's continue
Oh
to
yeah,
do some more.
sweet or savory. I mean, I'm down for the next couple months at least.
Before the baby comes.
Might need some entertainment in the hospital. I'll just pop on.
I'll hop on. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's like, hey,
imagine-
labor's taking a
One
few.
sec.
I know. One sec. I'm gonna do another push. Just hang on. AJ.
Sweet or savory?
I know.
Epidural or no epidural?
Epidural or not? Oh, the episodes we could have about labor controversy.
Literally.
I know. Oh my gosh.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot. And a lot of horror
Literally.
stories as well, and a lot
Yeah.
of really positive stories. And some people are like,
True.
it was the easiest thing of my life. And some people are like, this is the hardest day of my life.
yeah, that's true.
No, all you have to do is say like, I prefer pasteurized cheese, and you can get a lecture out of anyone, out of all the rules about birth.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
I know. I feel it.
We may talk about that in a future episode, and also check back on our like other episodes that have to do with other random things, like which way do you face in the shower, and do you like Disneyland over Disney World?
And also, we will be having to tease a little bit of our future topics that we want to cover. When are we having kids? Maybe talk about that. Our top artist influences, and do opposites really attract?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have that in a future
That
episode.
was a fun one.
I'm excited for that one.
Me too. And also, don't forget to follow us on social media at Sweet or Savory Pod. And we wanted to start a new series, kind of, I guess, part of the podcast where you can ask us questions, whether that's relationship advice or topics that you
Yes.
want covered, work related, music related. We want to give you the opportunity to ask us questions and have us cover it directly on the pod. So email us at sweetorsavorypod@gmail.com or slide into our DMs.
Check out Really Pretty Good podcast as well
Yes.
on wherever you listen to podcasts.
And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Sweet or Savory Podcast. It really helps us. All right. Stay sweet.
or savory.
Bye.